Hey, good morning, everybody. Daniel Cook here with Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration, and welcome to another episode of Home Cooking. That's home ownership made easy. So today we're going to talk about a topic that a lot of new home buyers may have, especially pre-owned homes, and that's home warranties. A lot of times you may get offered one in a transaction, and people may not know how to use it or how they work, and that's when questions often come up in our services, as well as new home builds, how that warranty works. That's also come up quite often, and when we come out to a location. So we got Lyndon Wilson here with us, and I'd like to bring him out so we can talk about this together.
What's going on, Daniel?
Hey, Lyndon, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right.
Awesome.
Doing good.
Awesome. So today's topic, we get called out quite often to newer homes or to pre-owned homes that just got sold, and it may be items that has happened in the home since they've had it for 3 or 4 months, or maybe 6 months or 9 months, and they say, hey, we have these problems, and we want you to come out and look at it, and they don't let us know that they're trying to use a home warranty up front. We get out there, and let's say it's a roof leak. Let's say it's a pipe that's leaking, or something in that magnitude, and we tell them, hey, this is what's going on, and this is what's going to take to fix it. And they're like, okay, well, I have a home warranty. And I'm like, oh, well, that's great, congratulations. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand that you just can't call majority of the warranties out there. Now, there's some outliers, but majority of the time you have to pre-call the home warranty service provider, and they authorize a vendor of their choice to come out and look at your property.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't go through those routes, they will deny coverage a lot of times. Now, there are some different kinds of home warranties out there that do allow you to make your own calls and use your own vendors, but they are very, very few and far between at this moment, as far as I'm aware.
Right.
I do know there's a shift in the market, and they are getting that way because they're feeling that it makes the homeowner feel more comfortable using their own vendors, but then there are restrictions that your subs have to utilize as well. So even if you get to call your own, they can't go out there and just do a $5,000 repair and expect to get paid for it.
Right.
They have to call in and have pictures taken, get pre-approvals for repairs. So using home warranties is a touchy subject in a lot of matters. So have you ever had to use a home warranty, Lynn?
I have, and I've gone through some nightmares with it because I didn't understand it in the beginning. But I think if people understood, it's a lot like your health insurance, right? You got your PPO and you got your HMO. HMO tells you what doctors you have to use.
Right.
The PPOs let you use pretty much any doctor that you want to use. Now, when you're using either doctor, there's still only going to be so much that insurance company pays. So, like you said, like I just had my shoulder replaced. I had to get approval from the insurance company for them to even cover that. And in the beginning, they denied it. And then the doctor had to submit some more stuff and they got it approved. But I know it's not the same, but I think that people could kind of relate to that a little bit better if they understood. It's just not a blanket warranty that if something breaks or fails, you get a brand new one and, everything's hunky-dory.
Correct. So there's a lot of things that you have to read about, and I don't know if when people have that transaction that day that you're signing those 50 or 60 papers buying your home, you got probably that little pamphlet that they stick in the very end of your home warranty is probably the last thing that you're reading and the last thing that you think about after you go back and leave that office, because it's overwhelming. You're there for an hour and your hand hurts. You got carpal tunnel because you signed so much paperwork. And then they say at the very end, hey, here's your home warranty that you got. Just if you need anything, make sure you call them. So I think everybody needs to take time, even with new home builds. New home builds are just very similar. Now, they don't tell you that up front either. They tell you, your home's protected everything's protected for 12 months. Or, some home builders are saying, we'll do foundation for 10 years. We're going to do electrical, mechanical for 2 years, and we'll do basic for 1 year. That some spread it out. Some tell you it's everything's a year. I mean, whatever that is, you need to understand what that means. Foundation is critical. There's a lot of items that can happen in a foundation, but what they don't tell you is if you do not prevent your foundation from failing, then they can not do anything about it. So if you just buy a brand new home and expect not to have to do any maintenance to it, which that's very common, you could run into some major issues, especially with the large purchase product, items like foundation. Or I've had a customer buy a house in, I think they bought a house in September one year. We had a major hail event come through in March the following year. So they've had their home roughly about 6-7 months, and they developed a leak in an area where there was, two slopes meeting, and there was some hail damage on the roof. And because there was hail damage on the roof, the home builder said that's a weather-related event that caused the leak, not the installation. Even though the installation could have been better,
right?
Hail should not have created. But the home builder was standing behind the side of, well, there's a weather event to your roof. It qualifies for insurance now, so we're going to step aside on this matter. So it's up to each home builder's, point of view and who they send out. I've had even a case where inside the home, in the first year, the window ledges built up moisture. Where right there, the window ledge in front of your windows, and they're saying they told the home builder that the home builder told the whole homeowner that was a cosmetic exclusion. So that's cosmetic. That's not anything that's wrong with the house. And I'm like, there's excess moisture building up so much in your window ledge that it's causing the paint to bubble up and peel. I would think that'd be some type of warranty on that, and especially when the home's only like 10 months old.
Right.
So, but so everything is up for debate, and every homeowner needs to be aware of how to handle those exclusions and how to handle those conversations. So got to be very diligent about reading how your paperwork reads as far as warranties. And the pre-owned side is even worse. You may have a plumbing leak that you think it's covered, and they find out that a tree root grew into the pipe. Well, that's going to eliminate coverage.
That was my problem that I was telling you about. I had the same thing.
It happens, and these are the rare occasions that people don't think about. Or it's a twofold deal. You have a pipe in your slab that goes up to your sink in the middle of your kitchen, in your island kitchen. You have a foundation shift, which causes the pipe to then have a tweak in it and a break. But since the foundation is what caused the pipe, then the plumbing is not active.
Right.
So there are so many items that people need to be aware of, and I can't stress it enough. You need to read your documentation. I would strongly urge you to probably call your home warranty company if you have a pre-owned and you get a pamphlet and it says this is who's doing it. I would strongly urge you to call them or look at their website and verify how to handle claims. There's nothing worse than at 8 o'clock at night something happens to your house and you don't know what to do. AC goes out. You have a plumbing leak on your toilet or your sink. You have an electrical problem. Something in the house, blew a breaker, and now your refrigerator won't operate correctly. Some of them cover appliances even. Maybe your refrigerator goes out. Maybe your dishwasher stops working. You need to be prepared for all these little things that are going to happen. It's not when it happens. It's not if it's going to happen. It's when it's going to happen, right?
Especially in Texas. I mean, you got some things that are I'm not going to say unique, but they're special to Texas.
Right. And I recommend both parties, your husband, wife, couple, whoever's living in the house, both of them need to know this. There's nothing worse. I can't tell you how many times I've come out somewhere and go, this is what's going to happen. You're going to have to call your home warranty. And they're like, oh, I don't even know how to do that, or my husband takes care of that, or my wife took care of that. Both parties need to be involved in those kind of items. There's nothing worse than the husband's at work, the wife's at work, and somebody else is at home taking care of the kids, and they don't know how to handle this. So both people need to be aware of where this paperwork is, how to call, how to email. what they're allowed to do as far as emergency services, what they're allowed to, possibly get reimbursed for if they can. What limitations do they have as far as financial sides? A lot of information you need to be aware of. So make sure you have that handy.
I think a lot of people need to understand that there is a distinct difference, big difference in your homeowner's, excuse me, your homeowner's policy and your home warranty. I know that a lot of people have had that confusion, thinking that home warranty is almost the same as a homeowner's policy, and it's not even close.
No, 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 no. I mean, and let's see how the biggest way to define this difference is. Okay, home warranty is for mechanical failures of a product for a certain amount of time that has a named peril inside that policy. So it has to be precision items named in that home warranty. Home insurance, majority of the time, is for out of your control items that could occur to your home. Majority of the time on the outside, obviously, with weather events, wind events, are devastational events like fire or flood if your home insurance covers those type of things. And then you have an interior policy on your homeowner insurance for items that may happen again out of your control. You're at work, your dishwasher or your washer machine breaks and causes to flood the home. Your hot water heater bust and it causes major damage to your home. Usually there are going to be water events in those kind of situations because that's what causes the most devastation inside your house is usually going to be water of some kind. Outside of that, foundations generally are not covered. You can have slab leaks that are covered if you have the right home insurance, but not all home insurance does that. Just had a case in Las Colinas. We went out. I felt so bad for this guy. Foundation's not covered. If the house was sliding off the front of the foundation, causes pipes to bust. I mean, this guy has like $25,000 worth of foundation and piping, and none of it's covered from his insurance.
Oh my gosh!
That's not covered in your policy. And he's like, "Well, I thought everything was covered." His bad. He did not read the policy. He was a price shopper. He probably had really great rates, and there you go. Again, it goes back to you get what you pay for.
Right.
I can't strongly urge you enough. You need to read everything before you sign it. What's covered? Because if you're dependent, and some people are in a different situation. Let's just face it. Some people are what we call self-insured, or they take a lot of risk. They're saying, for my $600,000 house, I want a policy that is fairly economical, that will cover my house if it burns down, gets blown away with a tornado, maybe has some heavy, extensive damage. Something that's going to be greater than $100,000. So they will take a lesser policy coverage, and the insurance company has lesser risk. So those premiums are super way down, and that's fine. Those people are assuming that risk. Now, hopefully, those people understand that if something happens, they're out of pocket up to that dollar amount, wherever they know that is, whether it's $25,000, whether it's $50,000, whatever that is. But most people are not in that situation. Most people want insurance because if they have something happen in their home, they want to know that they're covered for it, and they have a small percentage of payment that they're going to be out of. But a lot of people don't read what their policy actually covers, and that's so critical. But that's a whole nother subject as far as home warranty. I mean, home insurance. But home warranty is very strict too. A lot of things that you have to read about and what's covered, and even if an item's covered, it doesn't mean that they're going to replace it with a part off the shelf. They may get a refurbished part. I've seen that happen a lot, where a company will have a refurbished compressor sent out to it, or a refurbished evaporator coil, for an AC. I've seen those type of things happen where they're allowed to do that because that's written in the policy. Most people don't know that.
Yeah. Well, those are interesting things people need to know, and unfortunately, a lot of people don't.
Absolutely. So the second part of this is I think a lot of people need to really have a list of vendors. And when I say vendors, people that you need if something does occur at your home. And a lot of people do not have this list. A lot of people are very reactive when something happens to their home. So even if you have a warranty, let's say worst case scenario, and I've seen this happen multiple times. People have a warranty and they say, hey, yeah, no problem. We can definitely come out. We'll see you in 3 days. And your AC's out in the middle of July. Okay, not good, right? Okay, I got a wife. I got 3 kids at home. The house is fixing to be, it's already 84 degrees inside the house, and it's only going to get hotter, right? And you have to wait 3 days. And you got a dog, you got a hamster, you got, what are you going to do, right? Okay, are you going to pack everybody up and go to a hotel for $250 a night for the next 3 days? How are you going to do that? Take off your dogs, find a hotel that's okay with the dog.
Right.
Find a neighbor that's willing to take your dog, and hopefully you and your family can find a hotel. You know, unless if you had another, and you're going to take a chance sometimes.
Yeah.
Your home warranty said 3 days, right? What if you had an AC tech that you knew, that you've already made a relationship with, that you kind of made a connection, and you call them up and you say, hey, listen, I know it's middle of the night. I don't expect you to come out tonight, but do you have any chance of coming out tomorrow and look at my AC? You know, we're told that it's going to be 3 days before my home warranty is going to be able to come out. Well, he comes out tomorrow morning. He looks at it, and you got a capacitor problem. I don't know if everybody knows what a capacitor is. It's an outside component. It's very easy to fail. It's very common to fail. And when that fails, it shuts your system off.
Yep.
And he comes out. He says, "Yeah, I can fix it. It's going to be $300. That's about an average cost for a capacitor. $300 with trip charge. You know. So you say, okay, so you can fix my AC right now for $300, and I'm not going to have to wait another 2.5 days. Okay, deal, please. Let's do it. Okay, so even, let's say worst case scenario, let's say your home warranty does not cover that. Okay, I'm out $300. What would you have been out for the 3 nights of hotel stay?
Exactly.
All the inconvenience of moving and getting the kids back to school still from another odd transitional place, keeping your pet somewhere else, finding the hamster a place to live. You know, so these are the things that, and this is why, even if the home warranty won't cover it or does cover it, you're still out less.
Yeah.
So a lot of times the home warranties, you know, may not fall in place.
Right.
Then let's say the opposite thing to say. You say, you know what, we're a good, tough family. We got tons of fans. We're going to tough it out. We're going to make it. We're going to stay here. So 3 days comes around, and that third morning, it's like Christmas morning. You're like waiting on the AC guy. Yes, he just pulled up. He gets out. He goes to your AC unit. He goes, your capacitor's bad. Let me call your home warranty and confirm coverage. Your home warranty coverage says, oh, that's an external component. That's not going to be covered. So you wait it for 3 days.
Right. To find out you still got to pay it.
And then guess what? This company says, oh, well, that capacitor, our rate is up. I think our rate's like $425 to fix it. It happens. Yeah. I can't tell you how many times items like that happen. So a vendor list or people that you need to know, you need to have both in your phones. Both of y'all need to have these numbers in your phones, and they need to be, I don't know how you're going to list them in your phones. If you're going to say AC company or AC tech, plumber, electrician, pool equipment, or pool needs, exterminator, sprinkler repair. I'm trying to think of all the other ones that we find on a daily basis. Alarm company, everything that goes on around your house that you need people to help you with. Garage doors, importantly.
I told you my nightmare that happened not long ago. The spring broke, and I'm like, okay, no big deal. I'll just raise it up.
No, you won't.
No, you won't. I couldn't budge that thing. I was shocked.
Nope. So,
and fortunately we had a guy be able to come out in less than 24 hours, and fix it. And it wasn't outrageous, but we were lucky. I mean, and he told us we were lucky because sometimes he said it's 3 or 4 days before we can get to a.
Absolutely, I've had it happen to me twice in this house. So twice. The springs, however many times you make your door go up and down, it gets resistance in the spring every time, and so it stretches that metal. the more that metal gets stretched, and over time that the metal gets, a little bit more pliable, and sometimes it breaks. And when it breaks, well, I hope you're not in that garage.
I was. I was in the garage. I tell you what, too. When it broke, that was the loudest noise. I had no idea what had just happened, and I thought the house was falling down.
Did you have to clean your pants? Did you have to clean your pants?
Almost. I guarantee you, I was like, I had not experienced. I mean, it's just so unexpected, right? You hit the button, and all of a sudden you hear this loud. I mean, there's a lot of tension on that thing, and it popped. And pop's not even a good word to describe it because
explodes.
Exactly. That's a great word. I mean, it was just a deep, thunderous, just boom. And I'm looking around like, what just happened?
Yeah. No, nobody ever knows what it is. I always hear these stories of, I was inside the house and I hear this loud thunder Thor, something hitting the wall because it rattles your walls when that noise occurs. And so they always think people maybe hit the garage or something fell down in the garage at the car or something like that.
Right.
And you go out to raise the garage and the garage won't raise anymore. And they don't know why. And then somebody finally figures out, oh crap, the spring is broken in half. And that's why we can't open the door. So especially if you have a single door. Now, if you have a double door situation, you have another door to get out, hey, that's not the end of the world, but your car's trapped still.
Yeah. So, fortunately, we had my truck on the outside. So we were able to get around. But if we were a single car family and that was inside, you're not going anywhere unless you call an Uber.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So there's a whole laundry list of things, and you need to walk around your home maybe occasionally with your spouse and say, hey, what if this happens? A locksmith. You never know. Maybe you lock yourself out of the house. Not saying that they're that hard to find. Usually locksmiths are pretty easy. But wouldn't it be nice to have a relationship with a locksmith that's local? I'm not saying that, he's going to be there or she's going to be there when you need him, but at least it gives you a relationship piece. And I can tell you from professional experience, I have a customer, if they call me and we've already done 1 or 2 jobs for them, and let's say I have 2 or 3 other leads that we may have to inspect that day, and somebody calls me in the middle of the day, I'm on the way to another lead, and it may be on the way, or maybe just slightly out of the way, I'm probably going to try to make a bigger effort to try to go take care of that customer that I've already got a relationship with.
Yeah.
And make sure they're taken care of because they're giving me a lot of trust. They're choosing to call me out of all the other options they may have. And let's face it, every situation, there's a ton of competition. But so if you get a relationship with vendors and they know that you're going to use them on a regular basis, and hopefully they value that as much as we do. I mean, I can't tell you how much when we get a repeat call, that's like goes to the top of the list as far as in my mind.
Well, we're all as business professionals, we want to be relational versus transactional. So we're taking care of those people that we built that relationship with. We've taken the time to build that relationship. They've taken the time to show their appreciation for us doing that. When you call somebody out of the yellow pages, and I know yellow pages don't exist anymore, I don't think, but everybody knows what I mean. You call someone off of Google or out of the yellow pages, they don't know who you are. And if they've got 30 people in front of you, they just have 30 people in front of you. They don't know if you're going to hire them or just shop them. So, you're not a priority. You're not special at that point.
No, you're not. So I guess, in our field, we are around vendors all the time. We're around other professions, plumbers, electricians, pesticide people, lawn people. We're around those people all the time, but as a homeowner, you may not be. So I get commonly asked, how do I find vendors? How do I get everybody? And the answer to that question is talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends in those areas, talk to people that used these people before. So when you may need them, you can say, so-and-so told me about you. I'm calling you based on that information. What that does is something very similar to what we just described. If somebody knows they got a referral from a customer that they've worked with a lot of times, now they almost piggyback on that criteria. Even though this customer may have never worked with this vendor, they know that so-and-so gave me this information. I definitely know I like them and they use me multiple times.
Right.
So I definitely don't want to not take care of this client either. Not saying you're going to get special attention. I'm not saying you're going to get special pricing. I'm not saying that means everything in the world and they're going to drop everything and go 2 hours out of the way to get to your house. I'm saying that they will take a different approach to handle you though. They will treat you a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like it's something wrong. It's just, and again, it goes back to, if you're getting a referral from a customer that you already have taken care of and know you have a great relationship with, you're going to take care of them. That's
Right.
just something that you have to do as a business owner.
Yep.
And so I would strongly urge, people, get out, figure out who's around your neighborhood, who does work, who's the guys across the street's pool guy. Does he do a good job? Does he use the right chemicals? Every time does he leave? Does the water burn your eyes for 3 days, or does it not?
Right.
When you had your AC go out last year, who did you call? What kind of experience did you have? Ask people that you work with. A lot of people that are first time homeowners, they don't have anybody. They've lived in an apartment or a townhome that had maintenance taken care of. Why do they need to know anybody? And so that first year or two that you own your home, you need to do all these items before you need it. And I can't stress that enough. Being proactive is 10 times better. And you'll find yourself prepared to not have to be stressed out, not pay more than what you should, and handle the problem for you and your family a lot more effectively if you're prepared.
Right. Well, Daniel, when you find yourself in a desperate situation, that's when you end up paying more because you're just trying to put out the fire, no
Yeah.
pun intended. But you're gonna be. I mean, if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and that AC goes out and everybody wakes up and little kids are screaming and crying because it's hot and the hamster and all the things you talked about, you're just trying to put the Band-Aid on, and you're willing to pay an extra couple $100 just to get it taken care of. And that's kind of what this whole show's about, right? Is preparing yourself, understanding first, and then preparing yourself so that you're not overcharged in those desperate moments.
Right. So super important. One thing we have not talked about, and guess what? What's that is?
What?
One thing we have not talked about so far, and this is super important, and I tend to do this, but roofing. So how many times may you experience a problem with your roof in the middle of the night or after a storm? So you need to make sure you have somebody on call, and they have 24-hour services, which we do. You need to make sure you get a hold of somebody because it's in your policy that you are supposed to try to prevent further damage from your home. So if you lose an area of shingles, a tree comes down and causes damage that allows water to come into your home. You have shingles get blown off of your house. It causes water to come inside your house. Those things need to be prevented more. So make sure you have a roofing company that you can call and get somebody out there with emergency services that's going to be able to tarp and protect the home from further damages and start that repair process. That's
Right.
super important.
Yeah.
So,
No, it is. And we are, we're going to, at some point in time, kind of like what you said earlier, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Sooner or later, hail is going to hit your house and there's going to be some damage.
broken windows just happened this last year in Frisco. I mean, I can't tell you how many windows we had to board up for people. Board up windows and tarp over, sides of homes. And skylights were getting busted out. And
Yep.
we got to tarp over skylights. I mean, these things will happen. Unfortunately, where we live, it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's true. Anybody that was around Wiley about 8 to 10 years ago remembers. I mean, that we had hail big enough. I mean, it went through the shingles and the decking. I mean, it went all the way through. That's unbelievable.
I think I still have some pictures of that hail in people's living rooms and dining rooms. I think I probably have some still. So
I mean, you think about tornadoes are scary. There's no doubt about it. But if I'm getting hail coming through my house, that's kind of scary too. I mean, that's real scary.
yeah, that's not normal.
I mean, where do you hide?
You better go into your closet above the stairs, below the stairs, or something.
Somewhere. Put mattresses on top of your head or something.
That's bad when you have to wear a hard hat to bed.
That's right. That's right. Well, Daniel, we're about out of time. I'm going to let you close it out. Tell everybody how to get in touch with you and Cook DFW Roofing. And we appreciate everybody watching, and continue to watch. We're airing these every week, Tuesdays at 11. And so a lot of good tips. There's several series, some on your insurance and claims and stuff like that. Daniel's got a lot of knowledge that he shares. And so be watching for those on Tuesday at 11.
All right. Well, thank you very much for everybody for watching. Again, home ownership made easy. Our goal is to give you some information that you definitely want to use and utilize being a homeowner. Feel free to give us a call if you like it. We definitely have any kind of time to come out and look at your home. Make sure if there's anything you need, we'd love to help you. You can email me directly at daniel@cookdfw.com or call us at 833-COOK-DFW. Hope everything goes well, and we'll see you again next week. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.